Hello friends, for today's video I'm going to be doing a little manga haul and comic book haul. On my main channel, whenever I do book hauls, I pretty much always am talking about how I get things from my local bookstore, Bookman's, changing hands as well. If you're ever in Arizona, definitely check out both of these bookstores. They're absolutely fantastic. Bookman's has an exceptional amount of manga, which is amazing, and they also have a good amount of comics as well. And because it is a used bookstore, a lot of times you can get things discounted, and then if it's new, because occasionally they get new things in, whatever your store credit is, whether it's from bringing in video games, movies, TV shows, musical instruments, books, no matter what your store credit is from, you can use it on anything in the store, and that goes for the manga that I got here. And so pretty much everything I got with store credit. Like I said, if you're ever in Arizona, definitely check out Bookman's. It's amazing. There's a lot of different locations. It's enormous. They're all giant stores, so definitely check them out. The first set of manga that I got would be Golden Kamuy. I started Golden Kamuy at the end of the first quarter of the year, kind of leading into second quarter of the year, and I fell in love with it. I knew as soon as I started it that it was going to be one that I would want to pick up more for. And similar to what I did with Spy Family, I thought I need to get a lot of the volumes so that when I jump back into it, I can just marathon it. I did that with Witch Hat Atelier as well, which is right there, just because I think it's fantastic. And once, like I said, I jump back into it, I'm not going to want to stop. I'm going to want to read as much as I can. And I'm rather certain, I looked into it, that the series is now completed, but the volumes in English, I believe the end of the series will be released this year. And so I'd like to catch up with the series, and then that way I can read the volumes as they're coming out. This is one of my favorite things I've picked up this year, but I didn't want to kind of read it here and there. I am somebody who likes to marathon things, so I really wanted to get more volumes of it. It's not something I see around as often. It's not as popular as something like Spy Family. So when I saw they had so many volumes for it and I had store credit, I was like, yay. So I went ahead and grabbed a bunch of them, and I can't wait. I can't wait to jump back into this series. If you don't know what it's about, it follows a young man who was in the military, and his friend who was also in the military with him passed away. And his friend had a wife and a child, and as he was dying, he was asking that our main character try to do what he can to look after the wife and son. And so our main character is now trying to find a way to gain a fair amount of wealth because the widow has some health issues, and he knows she's going to need money if she's going to be able to travel to the doctors that could help her. And so he is kind of on this wild hunt for some riches, we'll say, and the map to get these riches is interesting. And so he sets out on this quest to find all of these prisoners that combined should have the information that he needs. And then he ends up kind of joining forces with this indigenous girl, and she is somebody who has such a vast amount of knowledge about nature, about animals, about hunting. She is just a wealth of knowledge, and they band together to help one another. And it's historical fiction, if that's not clear. It's not fantasy in any fashion, but just the culture, the food, like I was saying, the nature aspect of the story, I genuinely feel like I'm learning when I'm reading this, and I'm learning about a group of people that, if not for this series, I likely wouldn't have known a whole lot about. I really think that the series is incredibly brilliant, and a lot of people need to pick it up, while also being really funny and engaging, and I just absolutely love it. But it's heartbreaking at the same time. The harsh reality of the wild is really at the forefront of the story. The characters are just so endearing, though. I absolutely love them. The animals in this, it's great. Next up would be another one that I read recently and really enjoyed and then found at Bookman's, and that would be Saga. So I did a try a volume style video where I picked up 3 different volumes of 3 different works by Brian K. Vaughan. One of them was Paper Girls, Why Last Man, and then Saga. And I really enjoyed this one. Because I only read 1 volume, I wasn't sure if I thought I should pick up a copy just yet, but I, 1, really enjoyed that first volume, and 2, my husband Sean actually really enjoys Saga as well. And they had this particular edition used at my local bookstore in fantastic condition, and so it was $25, its used price was $25.50, I believe, so I went ahead and picked it up. I am excited to read more of Saga because I just really think that the world is fascinating. I really like the characters. And one thing I really was going on and on about in that try-a-volume video was how much I really enjoy Brian K. Vaughan's dialogue with his characters. It's just really witty and tight, and I can't wait to read more. I am a little nervous about what's going to happen with these characters. I've heard that this gets really emotional and really sad, so I'm scared. But saw this edition and thought it was quite a steal. After that, I got volumes 0 and 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I own the first one. I haven't picked it up yet, but this is another one that I want to, at some point, similar to what I was describing with the try-a-volume style, I want to pick up a volume of this and see what I think of it. But I figured sometimes manga, it takes, of course, more than a single volume to really decide for yourself. It's more so, how much do I want to prioritize this particular series? And I've heard really, really good things. I don't know a whole lot about it, though, and I kind of want to keep it that way. One thing I want to ask I'm asking for your insight on is, do I start, I know this is a dumb question, but do I start with 0, or is 0 something that it's almost like a prequel that you go back to? It would seem like you would start with 0, but I'm scared to look it up because I don't want to accidentally see any spoilers or anything, which I know is really over the top and it's not a big deal and I could just look it up. But if one of you knows and you just want to inform me and enlighten me on that, let me know. But it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I am kind of picky when it comes to slightly younger leaning manga. I tend to be quite picky with shonen because sometimes the humor is just perfect and it's so funny and I can't get enough of it. It's lighthearted, it's fun, and then it hits you with those deep moments where it's got the really great action and it's just a perfect blend of everything. And then other times, that blend, if it's not perfect, it just doesn't work for me. And so I'm curious to see if this one is going to be that perfect blend or if it's going to be a little on the wonkier side. Another one that I was really surprised Bookman's had, I have the first 2 of this series, but when I start it, I want to read quite a bit of it. This is another one that Sean's really interested in, my husband. And so I was like, well, it's here. And it's volumes 3, 4, 5, and these are nice additions, and that would be A Bride's Story. I don't pretty much ever see these at places like Barnes & Noble. To buy them new, I feel like most of the time I would have to buy them online. I don't see them in stores very much. And so to see them at my local bookstore, when I had store credit, I was like, well, I gotta get them. This is a perfect chance. It's basically free. This is one where Sean's definitely really interested in the story, but also the art style he just really, really likes. And I, having really been enjoying Golden Kamuy, really liking Vinland Saga, Vagabond, I'm finding I like a lot of the historical fiction manga, so I'm hoping that I really, really enjoy that one as well. And then last, because it's not a really particularly large haul, it's just a lot of the same series, just a lot of volumes for each. But last we have a bunch of Yona of the Dawn. So I picked up a fair amount of this at the beginning of the year, and it's just fun, and it's just a good time, and it's kind of a nice break between some of those historical fiction ones I just listed, like Vagabond, which is very heavy. So Yona has just been a fun, silly, good time. I did pick this one up at the beginning and was reading it alongside my husband and my friend Roger, but Roger had a lot going on for a while because he was completing his higher education. He is now officially Dr. Roger de Miranda, so yay for Roger. But I do want to get back into this series, and then hopefully if he can join in now that he's finished with school. But of course he's going to still be busy with other things too. But if he can, hopefully he can jump back into it. I just don't want to wait too much longer. So I got a bunch of volumes from the library, and then I went ahead and picked these ones up. These I got from actually the app Pango. So I got a fair amount of these used, and then also I saw there was a sale, buy one, get one half off at Barnes & Noble. So it was kind of a mix of getting some from Pango, getting some from Barnes & Noble. So I have what is basically mostly current for this, and then a bunch of the rest of it, like I said, I have from the library. So what I was describing wanting to do with Golden Kamuy, wanting to marathon it, and then reading other things as they come out, that's kind of the plan, to get back to Yona, and then I can read the volumes as they come out. That's it, though, for just a quick little haul, and a shout out to my local bookstore Bookmans. They're phenomenal. Let me know, based off of what I've been describing of really liking Golden Kamuy, liking Saga, if you have any of your own recommendations, feel free to leave them. You all give fantastic recommendations, so I always appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching though. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.